Stay with us, Infowars.com.
Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
I began to get into iodine a few years ago because it was helping me and my family so much get healthy and detoxify. Most people know that iodine deficiency has been a crisis around the world. Iodine is key to so many of the body's functions, especially the thyroid. I discovered a product being developed by Dr. Group. You now know it as Survival Shield True Nascent Iodine that your body can really absorb. Then, about a year ago, he said, listen, if you think this is powerful, I'm going to come out with rare earth, deep earth crystals. And the results that I personally have had have been life-changing. Nobody else has got iodine based on these pure crystals, ladies and gentlemen. This is innovating, and the best part is it helps fund Infowars.com, the radio show, the TV show, the whole media operation promoting true libertarian ideas. For a limited time, experience the ancient power of Survival Shield X2. Take advantage of this unprecedented 30% off super detox special at InfoWarsLife.com. I've always believed in nutrition and herbs. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals. Sourced from powerful organic herbs, harvested around the planet, and then concentrated for maximum potency.
I just received my Male Vitality about 3 days ago, and I must say, that was good stuff.
After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic Super Male Vitality formula. Super Male Vitality by Infowars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose.
I jump out of bed ready to fight these criminals every day. I look forward to waking up and taking my Super Male Vitality and getting the day started.
It's not just the Super Male Vitality. All the products at InfoWarsLife.com are simply amazing. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality and other powerful products from Infowars Life.
General, what do you think about the FBI saying that there's a terror alert on Monday about a potential Fort Hood situation?
The police are shoving people, shoving Alex, shoving the crowd.
Here we go, folks. I'm being assaulted.
Whether it's the radio show, the news websites, documentary films, or the nightly news, Infowars is the tip of the spear.
Is this another false flag stage attack to take our civil liberties and promote homeland security while sticking the hands down on the pants on the streets?
It's up to us to set brush fires in the minds of men and women everywhere. And that's what PrisonPlanet.tv is designed to do.
You watch, the Assad regime is going to be blamed or accused of using chemical weapons against the so-called rebels.
What we see now is a war against reality. It's a war against the truth.
It's more vital than ever that supporters of freedom become members of PrisonPlanet.tv and share their membership with up to 11 friends and family. Visit InfoWarsNews.com today. Become a member, share your membership, and help take the InfoWar to the next level.
Listening to an Infowars.com frontline report. It's Alex Jones.
The Death of Money is the book, available in bookstores everywhere. The Coming Collapse of the International Monetary System. Since his book came out, we've seen the acceleration away from the dollar, and we've seen food prices and a lot of other things increase, even with the Cook numbers. We're going to talk to him about that, when the collapse is going to accelerate, or can it be staved off at this point, with his expert view. And then the big issue, insider trading 9/11, with our guest James Rickards here in just a moment. First off, a couple issues. The new issue, we sell them in bulk at cost to wake up friends and family. You can buy 10 of these for the cost of a regular glossy 60-something page magazine. The Infowars special report, Welcome to America, double cover. And it gets into the treason of opening our borders and giving the free welfare to the illegals. Now that's part of the North American Union, in General Petraeus' own words. And it covers a lot more in the new issue, available in groups of 10 up to 100 to sell in your store, hand out to friends and family, or give to the city council or the police department, or to donate to the library. Infowarsstore.com, or call toll-free 888-253-3139. Also, in the month of July, at Maiden1776.com, or just go to Infowarsstore.com and click on the Maiden1776 link, All of the Made in America, Molon Labe, come and take it, limited edition belt buckles, water bottles, Navy SEAL produced bottle breachers, Molon Labe men and women's T-shirts, all the anti-socialist George Washington apparel that drives socialists into hissy fits, all Made in America, InfoWarsStore.com. It's all massively discounted in the month of July. The golf shirts, all of it, InfoWarsStore.com. And lastly, in the month of July, we're doing that year-end special that we never do during the summer that's so popular, where you can get 5.3 months free on a yearly membership for the Nightly News, 7 o'clock weeknights, all the films, my book, Paul Watson's books, so many other films, live events, prisonplanet.tv, InfoWarsNews.com. Every membership for $5.95 a month can be used by 11 people simultaneously. Now, when you sign up for a year instead of a month, you get 5+ months free, almost half off, that we're offering right now for the month of July. Very popular special. I want to thank all of you that are members. That's InfoWarsStore.com or InfoWarsNews.com to sign up for that special. InfoWarsNews.com. And, of course, we've got discounts going with promo code WATER on the great ProPure water filtration systems if you don't want to drink the glyphosates and fluoride. And all of your purchases support this unabashed, hardcore, openly truthful, openly libertarian, openly biased towards liberty and the truth, Infowars.com, radio, TV, nightly news, documentary film, news site, news combine that reaches close to 20 million people a week one way or another. What the Wall Street Journal and others have called the model of new media in the last decade, and only growing faster with our team of reporters and everybody else and all the amazing guests. So I want to thank you all for your financial support. We don't get your money like MSNBC through stimulus money or NPR with taxpayer money. We're funded by free association, you deciding to become PrisonPlanet.tv members, deciding to get the fine supplements at InfoWarsLife.com, and I want to thank all of you. All right, going back to our guest, who is the best-selling author of, well, multiple books, highly recommended from Max Keiser. Everything he's saying from my research is spot on, but he goes deeper with his different connections inside the Federal Reserve and the defense establishment. JamesRickardsProject.com, or just Google James Rickards, and his site will come up. The new book is The Death of Money, and he joins us via audio Skype now. Be sure and go check his website out. You can see him on Fox News and other channels as well. Some very informative videos up there. So boiling it all down, this is going to happen. The question is, when will it happen? And my issue for you is, I'm not an economist or a top investor like you who's made so many accurate predictions. I know it's coming, but I already see prices increasing everywhere. As the controlled media tells me, prices aren't going up very much. I already see, when I travel out of the country, the dollar is frowned upon. In places just a few years ago, it was smiled upon. I already see all over the place signs of real depression in many areas. And then I see the government gearing up for civil unrest, the Department of Defense admitting it. I mean, they've got to know Obamacare is going to shut down the economy, shutting down power plants is going to shut down the economy. They've got to know open borders, all of this. I mean, you're saying it's a bunch of ineptitude, and I know they have been trying everything under the sun. I'm sure that's part of it, but isn't there the vulture capitalist, crony capitalist angle of this, that a lot of insiders are going to make a lot of money out of a depression, or do you disagree with that, sir?
No, I think that's exactly right. And Exhibit A, I would say, is Warren Buffett. Now, look, Warren Buffett has this image as the avuncular sage of Omaha, the stock best friend, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to billionaires, don't listen to what they say, watch what they do. Warren Buffett's last two big acquisitions, you go back a few years, he bought the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad. Now, he bought the whole thing, by the way, and took it private. He didn't just buy a few shares. He bought the whole thing. Now, what is a railroad? A railroad is nothing but hard assets. It's right-of-way, mining rights adjacent to the right-of-way, rail, rolling stock, yards, switches, signals, etc. How does a railroad make money? it moves hard assets as freight: coal, corn, wheat, steel, etc. So a railroad is the ultimate hard asset. It's composed of hard assets, and it makes money moving hard assets. What was Warren Buffett's next big purchase? He bought oil and natural gas resources. And by the way, he doesn't need the Keystone Pipeline because he can move his own oil on his own railroad. You line up 100 tanker cars, you got a pipeline on wheels. So Warren Buffett is a guy who's dumping dollars as fast as he can, getting into hard assets. It doesn't matter what happens to the dollar. The dollar could be confetti, which has happened before to other currencies. He still owns a railroad. He still owns oil. He still owns natural gas. He owns things that people need. This is very similar, by the way, to what happened in the famous Weimar hyperinflation in the Weimar Republic in Germany in 1922 and 1923. We all know who the losers were. The losers were the middle class savers. If you had money in the bank, a pension, an annuity, an insurance policy, retirement income, a steady job, you were the loser because all of your fixed income assets were wiped out. But there were a lot of winners too. The winners were the industrialists, people with factories. If you have a factory, it's a factory. It doesn't matter what the currency does. People who had gold in Switzerland, people who had assets overseas, they were the winners because they were not wiped out. Then they went around and bought up all the losers, consolidated industrial holdings into relatively few hands. Then they decided that Hitler would be a good puppet for them. That didn't work out too well in the long run. But we've seen this movie before. So watch what Buffett does. He's dumping paper money, getting into hard assets. But there are many, many other examples. And, Alex, when we talk about this collapse, I think the government and the Federal Reserve would like to avoid it, but there's another part of them that knows it's coming. So they've got their own plan B ready. And like we said earlier, you don't have to, break into a safe in the middle of the night. They actually put this stuff on their website. Go to the IMF website, the International Monetary Fund website. They published a paper in January 2011. It's on the website. And it's a 10-year plan to make the SDR, that's the special drawing right. SDR stands for special drawing right, the global reserve currency. Now, what's an SDR? Well, it stands for special drawing right. That's a really geeky name. What it is world money. Now, so why did they call it an SDR? Well, they knew if they called it world money, it might scare people. So they gave it this really, technical name so people would sort of yawn and look somewhere else. It's kind of like the Federal Reserve. I mean, the Federal Reserve is the central bank of the United States. Why did they not call it the central bank of the United States in 1913? Because they knew that Americans hate central banks. So they called it the Federal Reserve. Well, the same thing with this world money. It's the special drawing right. Now, by the way, there's nothing new about SDRs. They were invented in 1969. They've been issued from time to time. They were actually issued in 2009. I might have been the only guy outside the IMF to notice. But this is just printed money. And by the way, the easiest way to understand it, it's not that technical. The Federal Reserve has a printing press. They can print dollars. The European Central Bank has a printing press. They can print euros. The IMF has a printing press. They can print SDRs. And they do. And they have. And they're not backed by anything. And it'll be highly inflationary, except when so the next time there's a liquidity crisis, remember the last time there was a liquidity crisis and a financial panic in 2008, the Fed bailed out the whole world. We know they printed $4 trillion, but that was just the tip of the iceberg. They did tens of trillions of dollars of swaps, guarantees, with the FDIC, guaranteed every bank deposit in America, guaranteed every money market fund in America. Propped up the system for the benefit of the elites, the power elites who actually benefit the most from that. But there's a problem. They're tapped out. In other words, they haven't unwound any of that. A lot of that's still in place. So when the next crisis comes, it's going to be bigger than the Fed. They're not going to be able to go to 8 trillion or 12 trillion on their balance sheet, because they'll destroy confidence. So where is the liquidity going to come from? It's going to come from the IMF in the form of SDRs. It will be highly inflationary, but no one will understand where it's coming from. I call the IMF transparently non-transparent. And what I mean by that is they're transparent in the sense that they put these plans on their website, but they're non-transparent in the sense that no one understands them because it's all technical.
Sure, exactly. They try to play both sides, and they consolidate power on the way up in the bubble. They consolidate power during the collapse, always posing as the savior. They never get in trouble. So you've broken down the technicals beautifully, and I know your book gets into more detail. How bad is it going to get? Because they're funding destabilizations in Eastern Europe. They're funding, this new caliphate running around, starting a civil war, blowing up Shiite mosque. Look, I understand they don't know what they're doing at many levels, trying to put it off so they can say they tried to do it. But on the other hand, they're trying to destabilize things at the same time. I mean, the evidence is there. What do they think they're going to get out of this? Where is America going? How bad is it going to get? And what's the time frame? Because am I wrong in saying that we're seeing major signs that the creep towards the exits at the movie theater is starting to get a little bit faster here? Because it looks like the dollar's in trouble here.
Well, the dollar's in trouble, but so are global capital markets, and the signs are everywhere. Alex, let me give you a very concrete example. So we're watching the stock indices. I guess the stock market's off a tiny bit today, but they've been going up and up and up. They're at all-time highs. They're at record highs. And the mainstream media says, hey, happy days are here again. Stock market's at an all-time high. Get out there and buy some stocks. Meanwhile, this is going up on very high leverage, meaning borrowed money. So New York Stock Exchange leverage is at an all-time high, and it's going